Jenny's Gift. Written and illustrated by Yasmin Kaplan. Published by Awakening Press. Dedication. For my husband David, my daughter Elia, my grandsons Chase and Reed, and children everywhere. Thank you, Jennifer Bundy and Volker Frank, for sharing your painting and design expertise with me. To my teachers and guides through whom the light of grace shines, I bow with a grateful heart. Jenny and Grandma had a special relationship. From the time that Jenny was born, Grandma delighted in her. She had perfect little hands and feet and a perfect little face, whether she was crying, laughing, sleeping, fussing, or simply looking out at the world. "What a beautiful spirit you are, my little dove," Grandma would tell her. Jenny grew and grew, and their adventures together became more and more wondrous. Grandma began to see the world through Jenny's eyes. She could see the sparkling jewels in a tiny sunlit puddle. She would delight as Jenny did in the song of birds and the dances of windswept leaves. Every stone, flower, and weed was a miracle of color, texture, and smells. Together, they would experience the wetness of a puddle after a rainstorm, laughing with each splash. When autumn leaves fell to the ground, they were gathered up and tossed for the wind to play with. Grandma and Jenny saw the beauty in the first snow that blanketed the earth in glistening whiteness, and in the brown, slushy snow near winter's end. A walk in the forest in springtime revealed returning robins, budding violets, and fiddlehead ferns. Summer offered fruits and berries to pick, jams and pies to make, and sunshine and water to bathe in. In the autumn, there were treasures to gather and forts to build for the winter ahead. One day things changed. Jenny's family moved far across the country. Mother, father, and grandmother assured Jenny that they would visit from time to time. The seasons came and went, and Jenny and Grandma didn't see each other, although they talked on the phone. Grandma continued to walk in the woods, listen to chickadees, and crunch leaves underfoot. She watched the squirrels' marvelous gymnastics, breathed in the scent of bay and eucalyptus, and felt the wind brushing her cheeks. Every day she practiced looking at the world through eyes of wonder, for this was the gift that Jenny had given her. One day, many seasons later, Jenny returned to visit Grandma. They were to have a long holiday together, just the two of them, while Mother and Father cruised to exotic places. Grandma's heart sang when she saw her little dove. Together they would take walks, plant in the garden, pick berries, bake pies, and paint pictures. Now, however, it was Grandma who picked up marvelous stones with flecks of gold, while Jenny just saw rocks. Grandma saw soaring birds, leaping dolphins, and fearsome dragons in the sky, while Jenny just saw clouds. Jenny worried that her feet were too small, her mouth too big, her nose too wide, and her freckles were too many. When they painted together, Jenny believed that nothing came out right. That night, Grandma told Jenny stories from her own childhood. She spoke about the barking dogs that followed her around when she was growing up. "What barking dogs?" Jenny asked. "Oh, that's what I call the mean voices in my head. You're not smart," they'd say, as I was doing my homework. "You didn't do this or that right. You're not pretty, not popular, and you're just plain boring. They'd constantly bark. All her life, Grandma was nagged by these barking dogs. She doubted herself. She didn't embark on new adventures or try new things, for the dogs would constantly follow at her heels. One day, that changed, Grandma said. What happened? Jenny asked. You were born. You were a miracle of perfection, a gift from the universe. I saw the light twinkle in your eyes, and the light began to twinkle in mine. You would laugh as butterflies fluttered about. Every rock and twig was a treasure to behold. You raced ahead, tasting, feeling, and smelling all of life. I had been living inside a cocoon, my dove, sheltering myself from the winds of life, keeping the dogs at bay. When you were born, my cocoon was shattered, and my heart broke wide open. Grandma smiled as she said this. What happened to the barking dogs, Grandma? Did they go away? No, she sighed. I just stopped listening to them. Jenny threw her arms around Grandma's neck. I love you, Grandma, she said. I love you, Jenny. The end.